Flight before the Wrights. Famous picture of the first sustained, manned, powered aircraft flight. The 17th of December 1903, Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina, USA. The Wright Flyer, designed, built and flown by the Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville, after 3 years of extensive glider tests and, as shown in this video, research on their predecessors' work. Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. Historic site of Wright's first flight, the 17th of December 1903, was just sand dunes at that time. A. Start of flight, alongside Wright's huts. B. End of longest flight. C. Wright Museum. D. Site of glider tests. E. Modern-day first flight airport. Huffman Prairie, Ohio. Historic site closer to the Wrights' hometown of Dayton, where they further developed the Wright Flyer. Now just a corner of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Red equals main part of Huffman Prairie where Wrights flew from.
The picture was taken on December 17, 1903. It's about 10:35 in the morning. They're at a place called the Kill Devil Hills. Now on this first flight, Orville was doing the piloting. He only kept the airplane in the air for about 120 feet, 12 seconds. They made 4 flights that morning, and each one was a little longer than the one before it. When you look at this photograph, what are you really looking at? These 2 biplane wings, they're covered with unbleached muslin, and you have wood struts. This thing out here in front of the airplane is the elevator, and the elevator gives you control in pitch. This is the rudder, and it is what does yaw. The engine is right there. It has an aluminum engine block to cut down on the weight, and the engine drives the propellers. If you look at the airplane, it doesn't have any wheels. That's because they're going to fly from sand, and the wheels would sink into the sand. So the notion they came up with was to run the airplane down a monorail track. And as you can see from the photograph, that day, the airplane didn't have to run very far down the track to take off. As you can see, it's not even over the end of the track, and it's already in the air. If you look back here, you can see the outline of the wing in the sand. Now, how come it's outlined in the sand? Well, before they started the flight, everybody was walking around the airplane, checking things and so on. So where the wing was at the beginning of the flight, they outlined with their feet, which is kind of neat. So this box with the wires coming out of it is a coil box, and that's where they get the electrical power to get the engine going. There you have it. That's kind of deconstructing the photograph of the world's first airplane on its first flight.
Drone footage in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Kill Devil Hills. Center of circle, Wright's glider tests. Left-hand side, modern-day first flight airport. Far end of field, Wright's first flight. See next slide. Kill Devil Hills. A. Rock marker left-hand side of Wright's huts. Start of first flights. A3. 3 rock markers. Increasing length of first 3 flights. B. 4th rock marker near trees. Longest final 4th flight. C. Large building right-hand side of center. Modern-day museum. Drone footage in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Kill Devil Hills. First flight area. Now to the main purpose of this video. As we look and fly around Kill Devil Hills, we'll discuss the main developments in flight before the Wrights, in approximate chronological order. The Wrights studied all of this for several years before their historic first flight here at Kill Devil Hills on the 17th of December 1903. First record of the parameters of flight. Remarkable British Sir George Cayley, 1773 to 1857, recorded many notable firsts. 1. Lift, thrust and drag as principles of flight. 2. Models with wings, fuselage, and tail surfaces, 1804. 3. Curved aerofoils provide lift by lower pressure on top. 4. Streamlining reduces drag, and biplanes and triplanes increase lift. 5. Internal combustion engines could power aircraft. And 6. Constructed and flew a manned glider, 1849 and 1853. Note, not sure why MSFS has the tower launcher for the first flight at Kill Devil Hills, as it was only used later at Huffman Prairie. Cayley's 1804 model glider. Cayley's 1849 triplane manned glider. First model aircraft powered by an engine. British William Henson, 1812 to 88, and John Stringfellow, 1799 to 1883, developed a 20-foot, 6.1 meter monoplane, twin pusher, powered by a steam engine in 1847. It was launched from an inclined ramp, but sustained flight was not attained. First sustained powered model aircraft flight and first manned powered aircraft hop from a ramp. French Félix du Temple, 1823-90, built the model in 1857-58, powered by clockwork and then steam. Later, in 1874, he launched a tractor propeller manned aircraft, gaining speed down a ramp for a brief hop flight. Félix du Temple's 1874 powered manned aircraft. First record of properties of cambered aerofoils. British Francis Wenham, 1824 to 1908, built test gliders and the world's first wind tunnel around 1850. First manned powered aircraft hop from level ground. French Clement Ader, 1841 to 1925, built and flew the bat-winged Eole, powered by a steam engine, unaided from level ground, in October 1890. He flew 165 feet, 50 meters, but never achieved sustained or controlled flight. Outstanding gliding pioneer number 1. German Otto Lilienthal, 1848 to 96, built increasingly better manned gliders. He was killed in 1896 in a glider crash before he could continue with his powered flight experiments. His classic book, The Flight of Birds as the Basis of Aviation, was published in 1899. Lilienthal flying one of his gliders in 1894. Outstanding gliding pioneer number 2. American, French-born, Octave Chanute, 1832 to 1910. Further developed Lilienthal gliders, including the classic biplane configuration. Still regarded as a classic of aviation literature, in 1894 he published his book Progress in Flying Machines. Outstanding gliding pioneer number 3. British Percy Pilcher, 1867 to 99, like Chanute, further developed manned gliders, but died in a crashed one in 1899 before he could continue with his powered flight experiments. Outstanding gliding pioneer number 4. Australian Lawrence Hargrave, 1850 to 1915, invented the box kite structure in 1893. This simple structure provided good lift and stability, and formed the basis of early aircraft such as the French Voisin. First largest aircraft to lift itself off the ground in the 19th century. American Sir Hiram Maxim, 1840 to 1916, designed and built a large experimental biplane in 1894, powered by 2 steam engines. It ran along a railway track with guardrails to prevent it rising too high. It flew for a while before fouling the guardrails and coming to rest. First sustained unmanned powered aircraft flight. American Samuel Langley, 1834 to 1906, in August 1903, flew a model, which was the world's first aircraft powered by a petrol engine to achieve sustained flight. His subsequent full-size man-powered aircraft fouled the launcher and crashed. With the Wright's success soon after, the government withdrew funding and the project was abandoned. His aircraft were called Aerodrome No. 1, 2, 3, etc., a word incorrectly derived from the Greek. The word was correctly applied to an airfield, Hendon in the UK, for the first time in 1908. Langley's Aerodrome aircraft on its houseboat launcher, October 1903. I hesitate to mention this last one because it is so contentious. Richard Pearce in New Zealand designed, built and flew a manned petrol-powered aircraft possibly just a few months before the Wrights in 1903. But the exact timing, nature, duration etc. of the flight is highly contentious. For more on this, see my video left-hand side dated the 30th of October 2024. Anyway, he was such a reserved fellow, in such a remote part of the world, that the Wrights probably did not know about him. First manned, powered, sustained flight in Europe. Brazilian Alberto Santos Dumont, 1873 to 1932, a resident of Paris, made this record flight in November 1906 in the grounds of a chateau in Paris. Although this video is about flight before the Wrights, this one is included as an example of the many contenders for the Wrights credit. His aircraft, the 14 BIS, shown here, included elevator and rudder at the front, and ailerons inside the left and right outer boxes of the wings. For other examples of Wright contenders, see the Wikipedia article. Claims to the first airplane flight. Deserved recognition? Some think the Wrights are given too much recognition because 1. They used free knowledge in a secretive, litigious, mercenary manner. 2. Their flights on that first flight day were short, with hard landings. 3. Their aircraft had no undercarriage, ailerons, or flaps. 4. Others were doing similar things around the same time. And 5. It was several years before the Smithsonian gave its recognition. But they would be wrong, because the Wrights brilliantly brought together 5 main engineering things to achieve what they did, explained in the video left-hand side by Sabine Civil Engineering and summarized in the next slide. Why the Wrights probably deserve credit for the first heavier-than-air aircraft to achieve manned-powered sustained flight. 1. Custom-made, researched and designed propellers for maximum thrust with minimum drag. 2. Dual contraspinning propellers to negate gyroscopic effect. 3. Custom-made, researched and designed wings for maximum lift with minimum drag, and which could be warped, along with the rudder, for turning control with minimum adverse yaw. 4. Custom-made, researched and designed elevator for pitch control with minimum drag, and 5. Custom-made, lightweight motor.
Sweetie, it's broccoli. It's good for you. Now open up for the airplane.
Never! Damn the broccoli, damn you, and damn the Wright Brothers!
My, aren't we fussy tonight? Okay, no broccoli.
Very well then, Who the hell do you think you are?
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.